I'm going to assume a lot of you guys have not heard about this channel. It came up in my recommendations like a month ago when he was talking about the game crash. And I was like, oh, that was a pretty good video, you know? I liked it. And I was like, oh, it's a new guy. I don't know this person. I'll subscribe to him. I clicked subscribe. And I was like, they had, at the time, it was something like 200 or 220 subscribers. I was like, what? How? How does this person have like barely any subscribers? Fast forward like a month later, a month and a half later from that video that I watched previously. Nobody shared this with me today. And he's talking about Alyssa Mercante. And he put out a banger video again. And I shared this in the chat if you guys want to check him out and potentially give him a sub. Right now, he has 637 subscribers. And I genuinely feel like this guy, his name is Clinic, YouTube channel Clinic. I genuinely feel like this guy's going to be massive on YouTube. And right now, he has 637 subscribers. So let's react to this video because my goodness, this is a banger video.
And you can suck me from the back.
Anyone else feel a little sick? Yep, we're doing this. We are addressing gaming's biggest villain, the devil of the gaming industry, the troll under the bridge, Alyssa Mercante. Alyssa Mercante has launched a crusade against gamers. Let's talk about it. So, what is this crusade? Has she put on a suit of armor, rallied her troops, and attempted to cleanse the land of people with different beliefs? Holy shit. In a metaphorical sense, that is exactly what she's doing. And it all started with this video. This one. Right there. You see that? You see that piece of crap? The most dangerous weapon in a woman's arsenal. Claiming harassment and demanding sympathy. With this video, she showcased all the harassment she was receiving because she made an article defending Sweet Baby Inc. How awful! I can't believe this. She did nothing wrong and received all this harassment. Unbelievable.
So he does a really good job of breaking down the ridiculousness of her trying to take the perspective of she's the victim and she's dealing with harassment by pointing out that she doesn't actually provide any context to the other side of the story and tries to make me out to be like the worst human being on the planet when people who are actually paying attention are like, wait, what? Him? That's the guy that you're suing? That, out of all the people, that's who you picked?
Just another woman becoming a victim of the gaming community. So sad, so tragic. You see, misogyny is rampant in the gaming industry. Is it though? Is it? Is it actually? Is it really? No, I don't think it is. And actually, is it really?
This is the background NPC. A female creator made popular by Asmongold and his community. Weird. Gamers don't hate women. They just don't like morons, men and women, trying to change the gaming space they love. 100%. I wish I had Asmongold's power to cover this guy and have him blow up immediately like Asmongold did with the background NPC. But I got a feeling Asmongold's going to cover this guy at some point too. He is that good.
No, I don't think it is. And if you were to believe this video, you would think that she is innocent, that she did nothing wrong, except try to cancel Melanie Mack, Grums, Asmongold, Smash JT, Hypnotic, and countless others. Tried to ruin the reputations of game studios, basically try to cancel anyone who doesn't agree with her ideology. Now, I don't condone...
Like, what a great, like, cannonball run of 10 seconds of just being like, oh, she tried to cancel this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Oh, and she also tried to cancel this game, this game, this game. I think that's what you would call a trend, and someone that has displayed a course of action that continues on a repetitive basis.
Harassment, what kind of psychopath would? Not this psychopath. She showed off a lot of comments that were Yeah, and some comments that were horrible. But the way this video is edited and made to look makes it look like she's the innocent victim, which couldn't be further from the truth. What she did was essentially kick the bee's nest and played the victim when the bees defended themselves. Oh, I really gotta stop doing that. And I'm not defending the comments and emails that she was showing in that video. I'm not. They were pretty bad. And she was doxxed as well, I believe, which I don't agree with anyone, no matter how much of a dick they are. Firstly, trying to claim that this harassment came from an innocent article she wrote about Sweet Baby Inc., work that she's proud of, really proud of, is again trying to twist the narrative. That article, by the way, comes off as an attack against people who don't think like me. She gets mad at the Sweet Baby detector thing. Why? Why does that matter? If people want to ignore games made by the worst thing to come from the gaming industry since Resident Evil 6, who the fuck are you to say they can't do that?
Which, again, goes back to the obvious elephant in the room problem that people have with this is, why do you care if people don't give a shit? People are just saying we don't like you being disingenuous or giving partial information or leaving out vital facts to push your truth instead of the truth.
Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what you think it does. Proceeds to give no evidence against that other than the CEO said it's not what you think. Oh, so it must be true. Nintendo.
I don't know why I found that so funny. Her source for the evidence of saying a company is not bad is the CEO of the company saying they're not bad. Dynamite reporting, Alyssa. Dynamite. Great job over there. How could people have an issue with this?
Nintendo isn't a greedy company. They care about you dearly. The CEO told me himself. What? What do you mean you don't believe me? How about look at the actual evidence, the games they've been involved with, and how those games turn out? Clearly a correlation between the two. Look at Spider-Man 1 to 2. Clearly a difference in those games. Games that Sweet Baby are involved with always have some form of political agenda. They're always woke. I know, that word makes people so mad. But here's some advice. I want you to sit down. Are you sitting? Cry about it. The article is...
This guy's going places. That's amazing.
Just somebody clearly backing up her friends. Because if it's harassment she has a problem with, it should be harassment for both sides. Maybe call out a Sweet Baby employee for asking people to report the creator of Sweet Baby Detected so he loses his account. You know.
Which is all people are trying to ask Alyssa, lie by omission Mercante, to do. Stop lying by omission.
No, for the sake of fairness. Which that account would be worth thousands. Or is harassment okay as long as it's the people you don't like being targeted? The only thing this article managed to accomplish was make Sweet Baby Detected more popular, which is really funny. Really funny. Ha ha. This isn't the only time she's done this. She loves to attack gamers. Stellar Blade is for perverts.
Accusations, false accusations.
And she also went after the people behind Farm Folk because
the Farm Folk situation was crazy because Farm Folks posted jiggle physics, like a joke of just enhancing the breasts of the girl while she's jogging, and they're bouncing around in a video game, and people were like, "That's awesome, that's awesome." And of course, people like Alyssa lost her goddamn mind over it, and then got an interview with the CEO of Farm Folks and proceeded to completely misrepresent what he was saying to her in their interview, to the point of he had to release the DMs of him trying to clear the record with her, and her telling him that he's not allowed to dictate how she reports on a story. And I'm like, this is the person that works at Kotaku? This is the professional person? Interesting.
because they made a joke about jiggle physics. Disgusting behavior. Disgusting. Who would ever make a joke about jiggle physics? She then used the creator of the game as a tool to push her narrative. Are we noticing a pattern here? She's all for bullying as long as she's not on the receiving end of it. She also has this obsession with some creator, I don't know who he is. Allegedly, he's popular with terrorists or something, I don't know. His name's Hassan, but this comment made me lose it on her video. She looks like Stan. Dear Hassan, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. Oh, and guess what? If you didn't know, she has a lawsuit against Smash JT, which I believe she has requested for more time or something, which is definitely a good sign. Now, she filed the lawsuit.
The latest update on the lawsuit is yes, Lane Haygood, her lawyer, has recently requested a 2-week extension. From what I understand, it was because he's either sick or for personal reasons for him as a lawyer. And it was accepted by my lawyer, Ron Coleman, and granted because it's the human thing to do. But again, it is not a great look on top of the multiple rewrites that they've already had to now ask for an extension on top of it. If I were the judge, I'd be like, shit, or get off the pot. What are you guys even suing for? And what are you doing here? Figure it out. Because right now, this is a complete shit show.
For reasons, basically defamation and harassment and all the nice things like that. The lawsuit, which she posted
By the
publicly,
way,
included Smash JT's address, but not her own.
For reasons. That's great. Yes, and this is him explaining how she doxed me in a legal document. And she's trying to act like, oh, that's not doxing. That's just a legal document. And like, bitch, you shouldn't be suing me. I didn't do anything wrong. Secondly, you put my address in it and then withheld your own out of fear of safety for yourself. Meanwhile, I have my life put together. I have a wife and kids and a house, and you doxed me. But you're not worried about my safety. That's very curious. And dare I say, the people following you, I feel, are far crazier than the people that follow me. Call me crazy, but that's just kind of what I've seen online.
Obviously. She's not going to dox herself. Come on, bro. It's so malicious. She did get doxed, by the way. I don't know by who, but she did. Oh, and she DM'd his wife, implying that
she did, by the way, she did get doxed. That had nothing to do with me whatsoever. I didn't even know she got doxed until it was shared with me. That was completely redacted, by the way, when I saw it. So I never even saw her actual address or anything. Someone shared me a screenshot that was everything was redacted out of it. And like, yes, this is, it was shared online, so she's not lying about that. I'm like, oh, okay. What's that have to do with me? Again, that's not me doing that. If she's suing me and adding that into it, that's not me. This is a freeze frame of her unhinged messages to my wife, and the one on the far right is a DM to me. You can pause this and read through it if you want, but she is nuts, stage 5 clinger. And she found my wife's social media, reached out to her, and DM'd her over me retweeting someone that she didn't like. And I wish it was more than that, but that at the time, that was the most I knew about Alyssa. And she only needed that to reach out to my wife. So, Your Honor, I rest my case. This person suing me is a crazy bitch.
he should divorce him. Now, that is obviously a mentally stable individual.
Super mentally stable.
Between me and you, Smash, I think she wants you. She wants to see if you live up to the name.
I love this guy. Oh, that was amazing.
Smash. She also involved small YouTuber Nobody in this lawsuit. That is someone who up until recently was homeless. And in his small time on YouTube, he has managed to do better journalism than Alyssa could ever dream of. There's more to the law of...
I think that's where a lot of the bitterness comes from, if I had to guess, is there are people that have zero training, zero education in the field of journalism that are just human, that can just do it because they're human and they understand empathy and emotion and they've lived challenging lives. Meanwhile, we have Alyssa Mercante going to school overseas, majoring in whatever the hell she majored in, and then coming back acting like she is the bee's knees when it comes to journalism and the professional games industry. And then she gets disgracefully removed from it. And instead of trying to be better, she starts suing people and complaining on the internet and crying about it. Totally normal.
Alyssa Mercante, more Twitter rants, offering to fight people, then backing out. But what gave her the most infamy was her rant on the Giant Bomb live stream, which really got her on everyone's good side. You all suck, you're awful, I've never been wrong, you only hate me because I'm a woman. You're all virgin losers, gamers are toxic. Whoa, why are you mad? Only I'm allowed to say horrible things. That's how this works.
I mean, that's actually a very good reenactment of her approach to this. I know he's joking to make light of it, but it's only funny because it's true.
Absolute psycho.
Smart, hot.
No, absolutely not. The Woe Is Me video is so disingenuous, as pointed out by Harmful Opinions, who noted that cuts had been made to make people look like they were saying things they actually weren't.
That was a banger video by Harmful Opinions, by the way, because he provided the full context of her cutting what I was saying to make it seem like I said something I didn't, to make it seem like I was harassing her when I wasn't. It was completely disingenuous and proved once again that she lies by omission everywhere she goes. She is an awful, awful person. I'm allowed to have that opinion. Now, me saying that, if she were to cut this, she would just say, oh, he said I'm an awful, awful person. And then cut saying, I'm allowed to have that opinion. To make it seem like I'm being far more aggressive than I really am.
It's just out of context clips to support her narrative. How can you be surprised that creators call you out on your bullshit or criticize your article when it's just an attack on gamers or trying to push your far left ideology? Creators were obviously going to call her out on this nonsense. And it's not exclusive to her. When a game journalist says something dumb, of course people are going to say something. Hey, that was dumb. Don't do that. She is the worst kind of journalist.
These people don't, it doesn't work, by the way, to say that was dumb, don't do that. They get really angry at you. They double down and then they try to excommunicate you from gaming instead of trying to be better. Many, not just Alyssa, many people in the quote unquote professional games journalism industry are awful, awful people. Many of them.
It is just lies and constantly trying to frame a narrative that suits their beliefs and ignoring any information that contradicts them. The kind of games journalist that constantly tries to strong-arm game studios into bending the knee to their far-left ideology. Don't you dare have a character that is slightly too sexy. Not on my watch. I'll write an article about you. Poorly. With an attitude like that, she must be holier than thou. A woman who believes that women should never be over-sexualized. Ever.
As a woman, men are making money off of you anyway, or they're trying to look for ways to gawk at you anyway. And if you feel comfortable doing this, then do it. The issue that I had and have is that what I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping.
Oh, wait, no.
Right there underneath that, it's very important.
It's like digitally stripping.
Oh, wait, no.
Cam work. Objectifying yourself for someone else's pleasure. Curious. So I guess it's okay when Alyssa does it, but if it's in a video game, it's not okay because reasons.
Oh, no. Again, it's okay when she's making money from it, but a game with a fictional character that is just pixels? That is too much. This video is just embarrassing. Apparently it took her weeks to edit. That's embarrassing. 4 hours tops. There's barely any editing in it. It's simple editing. And the biggest crime, zero charisma. Just zero. Just nothing. Absolutely none. I guess she's just playing the victim, huh? So why now? Why am I talking about all of this now? Why am I talking about the boogeyman now? It's like I said, boys, she's on a crusade. Since that video, she's been targeting creators that oppose the far-left ideology, that speak out against games journalists who try to frame a false narrative. And she's actually having success, allegedly. Allegedly. 3 creators so far have been deplatformed or demonetized due to
Yep. Tosu Mosti has been demonetized. Atreus has been demonetized. Ryan Roger Athe has been completely deplatformed, all allegedly directly related to Alyssa Mercante and her ilk reporting people. Allegedly.
mass reporting. Coincidentally, on videos they made about Alyssa Mercante. This was about a month ago. These are smaller creators, bigger than myself, obviously. I mean, I'm no one. But it's not Asmongold, right? Can't get him because he's too big. She still likes to talk about him, though.
Isn't that interesting? She always goes at Asmongold in her tweets. She goes at me in her tweets, but we're too big for her to take us down. YouTube isn't doing anything about us, but they are doing it to the smaller channels. And I find that very curious. Very curious.
That's why the smaller creators are being targeted. Now, I don't know these creators, I don't watch them or have any affiliation with them whatsoever. I only see stuff from them on Twitter when they reply to someone that I also follow. I don't really have a lot of time to watch that much YouTube, honestly. All that time I would have to watch YouTube, I use to research and make these videos, so you're welcome. All 3 creators have reason to believe that Alyssa and her followers were behind it all. And it could possibly be more. This was all over a month ago, so why am I talking about it now? Because it's still not resolved. I was so naive to look at this, shrug my shoulders and say, this will be resolved in no time. Whether these mass reportings were because of her or...
I think, by the way, that's something that I've brought up many times, where I feel like people were getting frustrated with me talking about Alyssa during the lawsuit or constantly bringing her up until they actually listen to what I say about what she's doing. And then they're like, I mean, assuming they're not coming in with a bias that just hates me, most people listen to it and be like, oh, damn, that bitch crazy. And they understand. And it slowly picks up the momentum of the movement of this person is completely off her gourd, off the rails. She's lost the plot and she is pushing against people that are literally just reporting on things. And what she's doing, ironically, would be used against her instantaneously if she was ever successful at pushing it in the first place. Oh, the irony in all of it.
Not. YouTube still has a massive problem with people abusing their system. It is a blatant abuse of the system. People have mass reported creators because they don't like their opinions on things, and it's resulted in a loss of income, and they lost all that hard work they put into in making their channel. But Alyssa is now moving on to another tactic after allegedly doing the last one, allegedly. Lots of alleged. Another way to own the chuds. She's now doing research. I use the word research lightly there. I don't think she's ever done research in her life, judging from her journalism. But research into rage bait content and trying to influence YouTube into taking action against content that is considered rage bait. She's making a video essay.
She has made it her life goal to take creators down because she's living in such a negative reinforced world where anyone that disagrees with her ideology must be stopped, as opposed to just living your life, talking about what you want to talk about, and moving on to the next thing. She gets so fixated on these people that she doesn't like. And it's why I continue to cover her, because she continues to tweet about me. She just tweeted about me the other day about how many videos I've made about her, and used a chart that posted every video I've ever posted on my channel in my career, which has nothing to do with her except for the videos I made about her, but she doesn't make a distinction between the two. And then tries to play it off like all I do is talk about her, when that's not what it is.
I assume from this tweet about platforms pushing rage bait content. She showed some of that research as she went after Hypnotic. Hypnotic's response, bro. It was cold as fuck. And pause the video if you want to read all of that, because it is good stuff. Now, what is considered rage bait? It's people harass.
That Hypnotic response was one of the best smackdowns I've seen this year on X. Maybe the best this year. It was crazy.
And bullying and gaining views from trolls. Is that what it is? No, I don't think it is. Not the content she's talking about anyway. No, what it actually is content that goes against her beliefs and criticizes those beliefs. She is firmly against free speech, by the way. Said so in one of her posts. Now, if YouTube were to bend the knee to this hypothesis, which isn't well thought out at all, it would set a dangerous precedent across the entire platform that is YouTube. Criticism is no longer allowed because you're hurting someone's feelings.
Which I would like to think has been tried infinite times over the years on YouTube, and YouTube has always been like, yeah, no, we can't do that, because if we do, it changes the entire dynamic of our entire platform, and it breaks a lot of free speech laws and abilities of people for criticism and fair criticism. Because if anyone feels harassed from criticism, then nobody's going to be able to say anything ever critical about anything ever. Does she not realize how this will be used against her as a journalist herself? Seriously?
It will become a platform.
Like, is she really this retarded? Is she really that? Like, I hate to like say that about people, but you leave me no choice when you sue someone over this. You are retarded.
Platform where you can't criticize Halo's latest grift with the LGBTQ community. You can't criticize a games journalist for saying something stupid. You can't question why they made Professor Snape black, because of course they did. Of course they did. You can say that's a bit extreme, far-fetched maybe. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it won't get to that stage. But do you think that if it's someone's job to oversee rage bait content, that person is going to be a level-headed, responsible, sensible person? I have my doubts. Or will it be like Twitch, where a certain group of people with certain beliefs get away with everything, where someone like Tectone gets banned for saying the smallest thing again and again and again?
Yeah, he got banned for
Twitch deserves their own video.
He got banned for calling a chick fat. I've had videos removed that were posted by other channels of fat chicks because they were fat. And YouTube had determined that it's making fun of them for being fat, which you could say it is, but you could also look at it and say it's not. So it's just, it's very concerning when you start getting the iron fist on, oh, you can't call someone fat. That's a protected class. It's like, why? What? Who decided that one? Because that's a pretty slippery slope. Can't call someone fat. What's the next thing you can't say?
Video, by the way, it's a really, really bad platform. Emaru is their latest target for having the most lukewarm take about 3 of the biggest morons on Twitch. And these platforms are enabling this behavior. It's such a double standard, 2-tier bullshit way of running your platform. And I'm going to disprove this rage bait theory that Alyssa Mercante has right now. You know, the subject that she's such an expert in, and wants YouTube to stop pushing that content. YouTube doesn't push that content, at least not more than anything else. I'm a small channel. I'm a nobody in this space. No one knows who I am. None of the big creators know who I am. I've got 600 subs here and 6 followers on X. I'm not backed by a big channel giving me exposure. I started from scratch, which means YouTube has to find my audience. So a little peek behind the curtain. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you might find this interesting. So, does YouTube push critical content more than positive content? Nope. Not in my experience. It doesn't make a difference. My most popular video is my Expedition 33 video where I glaze the game for about 20 minutes. That video was pushed to the moon by YouTube. Well, the moon by my standards, despite it not having any analytics that were different from others. The least popular video on my channel is the Monolith video where I call them dumb for 10 minutes. Now, I would say the most baity of my videos was the South of Midnight is a woke disaster video. That video did get pushed a bit, but not to people who also think it's woke. Oh, no. It was shown to people who were very upset that I put the word woke in there and got triggered. That video was mainly seen by angry far leftists.
It's interesting what he says here, because as a small channel, it's almost like the algorithm doesn't know if you lean left or lean right. So it kind of just throws your video to whoever, and those people will watch it and get really angry if they ideologically oppose what you're saying. I wonder if my channel has kind of aligned itself with leaning right. So in a weird way, the algorithm knows to send that content out to people that will typically appreciate my stance on things, as opposed to sending it out across the board to everyone and pissing off people and making them want to leave the platform, not be on it as much because they're frustrated that the algorithm is not reinforcing what they want to think. And it always comes down to follow the dollar with these companies. So I almost feel like it creates an echo chamber or a bubble of creators thinking that they're getting out there when they get bigger to the masses. But in reality, it's just going out to more people that align with the angle that you take for the most part. I'm not saying that I'm like extremely right wing or anything like that. I'm just saying my content does typically my stances on things typically lean right. Typically. Jeffrey Rucker says you lean normal, not good, according to YouTube. That's true too. I guess I'd like to say I'm a centralist, but there's no such thing as that anymore. So I guess I'm leaning right because of that, to try to be centered. I'm just right of crazy. You know? That's the way I look at it.
Who left some strange comments.
Look at him responding to everyone too. Damn. Go outside looser. Dog, you are white. Ironic.
I mean, this is just straight up harassment. I should sue these people. And this video here is stone cold proof that YouTube does not overtly push content that is critical of the far left. This video here is a discussion on why gamers want nothing to do with a certain community. A video that would for sure trigger a lot of people. A video that they would consider rage bait. Now that is the most successful video I've ever had within the first 150 views. Like, comments, engagement, all by far and away more than I usually get. The video is a successful outlier. The video was killed immediately. YouTube isn't pushing anything more than anything else. It's as random as it's ever been. And all I do is make videos on topics that interest me or worry me, in this case. What we're seeing with larger creators is audience that have been built over a long period.
2 years is for Hypnotic. 2 years of gaining an audience that value his takes about the gaming industry. Yep. I think that's the part of the problem that people have. And I'll be honest, I fell into this trap too when I was smaller. I would get frustrated that I would cover topics that bigger channels would cover, and I'd put it out there, and the algorithm would not push it to anyone. And I feel like my takes were obviously being biased here, but my takes were on point as much, if not more so, than some of these bigger creators, and it didn't matter. And what I didn't understand and what I didn't realize is you don't just roll out of bed and wake up with 100,000 subscribers. Like that takes so much work, so many hours. Like your life has to be dedicated to this to get to that point. And I think that's what separates the people that can be successful on it to the people that just get jealous, angry, and pissed off and quit. And it's like, you're welcome to do YouTube. And I tell people who are always wanting to start a channel to have at it, but to definitely know that if you plan on getting to be well known or being out there for the masses to see, that you're going to need to put way more work into this than you could have ever imagined in your life.
Of time. Audiences who, like anyone else, will be drawn to more dramatic videos involving their favorite creators, like a game getting killed and the studio getting gutted from it. You know, that's
shots fired. Chaotically, shots fired at Hypno. Oh, good point, Azri. You do grow if Asmin watches your video. Good point. Good point.
Pretty interesting. Something like that is obviously going to get more views than normal. It doesn't happen every day. People follow creators because they like their personality, their videos, and their takes. And they form this audience-creator bond, which is what YouTube is supposed to be all about. YouTube is not pushing critical content more than anything else. It's a full...
Olympus Mon says, I think the ship on starting out on YouTube has sailed already personally. I feel like it's already too late to jump on. I strongly disagree with that. I think there's always room for talented creators that want to make an impact and talk to people about what they're passionate about. But I mean, if you take the fatalist view of don't be an explorer, you're too late, everything's already been discovered. Well, it's a depressing approach to life, because you could say that about everything. I wish I bought real estate when it was 1981. that was also the year I was born. Like, it's like sometimes you just got to deal with the deck that you're dealt and make the most of it and follow your true passion. And if starting out on YouTube to grow and be successful is what you're doing YouTube for, I can assure you, you will fail. That cannot be why you're doing it. But if you have enough passion for it, there's always room for people. I'd take issue a little bit with this one. It's not too late. I look at this guy, by the way. Like I'm saying, like here's a guy that's fairly new to YouTube. He's gonna blow up. You can tell. You guys can all see this. It's not just me. Like this guy is going to go places on here. It's so easy to see once you watch the people be like, yep, that guy's got it. He's gonna go places.
And a lot of creators get smaller numbers lately. Me personally, I had a lot of momentum in my first.
So he was watching me on X saying a lot of people are saying that they're getting less views right now, and he's echoing the same thing.
3 months, we were growing. YouTube is giving me more and more impressions, and all of a sudden, that's stopped. My impressions are down.
That's crazy because that's exactly the chart looks eerily similar, just higher up, but it does the same kind of thing. So it's almost like it's across the board with everyone that just views just died at the beginning of June. It's very strange. Very strange.
My impressions are down 80% or something like that.
And Will says, yeah, same as that with me too. Yeah, it's across the board. It's very strange. I have a lot of people asking me like, why did you stop doing scripted videos and edited videos? Why are you just doing your live stream cuts right now? I miss your scripted videos, your edited videos. I don't know how to explain to people how much time goes into those videos and the hours and hours of effort, prep and writing and scripting and editing and publishing. Like we're talking 4 to 5 hours typically for one of those videos. Whereas a live stream cut is just a live stream cut of what I'm talking about, typically with very minimal editing. And they are getting similar views right now. So you tell me, why would it's work smarter, not harder. Why would I kill myself, bend over backwards, burn myself out, and doing things that I'm just like, I'm not getting a return, a ROI on, return on investment of time into it, and then go to live stream and be like, oh, I guess just do this. And I'm also getting a lot of people that are complimenting, by the way. I don't want to say they're just people hating them doing this. There are people who are saying, I'm loving the shift to the live stream cuts. I feel like you're getting a lot more information out there, and it's a lot more direct to the point. You're super focused on. I've gotten those comments too. But I'm just saying, it's like this, you just got to go with the flow of talking about what you want to talk about in the best way to communicate it to your audience. Exactly, Revco. 2 birds, 1 stone. Exactly.
No, I'm not going to blame it on anything. It's frustrating, sure. Although I have seen people talk about losing subscribers, but their subscribers said they didn't unsubscribe. So I'll keep an eye on that because
I've gotten that many, many times so far. People will say they've been unsubscribed from me and they did not do it. And like 1 or 2 people, I'd be like, oh, they probably did that by accident, didn't notice. I've had like tens of people, like 10 or 12 people. It's been a lot of people over the past month who have told me they've been unsubscribed from me and they definitely didn't do it. I'm like, at that point, you got to say, okay, that's a YouTube thing. And then you see Kyle talking about it. I'm like, okay, this is widespread.
that is strange. So basically, Alyssa Mercante is trying to build yet another false narrative to try and deplatform those that call out her lies and just straight up bad journalism. And I think the lawsuit she has with Smash JT is part of all of this. She's trying to paint herself as the victim in this whole situation, and if she gets bigger creators to call her out and say mean things, then it might work in her favor. It could look better for her, but it's so transparent, it's laughable.
That's a good point. And outside of Asmund Gold, just kind of poking at her when it's obvious to do so, he has really avoided her when he could have gone even harder on her. And I think that's pissing her off because in a weird way, I think she really wants more people to harass her, to empower her case, make her case even stronger, and make people on her side be even more empathetic to her situation. So in a weird way, it's like pissing her off that Asmongold is just completely owning her with one just random rant on her, and then just moves on, just completely destroys her and goes on to the next thing. And she's like, no, come back.
Close this video out, we are seeing free speech being targeted, which is nothing new, especially for me being from the UK.
Yeah.
We've seen cases of YouTube's system being manipulated. We're seeing people be cancelled. What we really don't want is YouTube to cave to these people. I believe people should be free to talk about what they want to talk about. You can criticize me in the comments, I don't care. But if you're going out of your way to take away free speech, deplatform people, take away people's income, cancel them completely for criticizing her or her friends or their ideology. Call me crazy, but I believe that someone who does those things should be deplatformed themselves. And YouTube not doing anything about this is worrying for the future of the platform. It is not criticism of these people, it is actively trying to get them deplatformed. And YouTube needs to do a lot better at monitoring this sort of behavior. People have drama on the internet all the time, let them. Who cares? Let them say what they want. But someone actively trying to prevent people from speaking freely is troubling. And YouTube look like they're playing favorites when they allow this behavior to go on. They should be neutral. Clearly, they're not.
Yeah.
It's all just fatherless behavior. She genuinely hurts my germaphobe brain. Feel like I need to take a shower. See you in the next one, boys.
What a banger video. Holy crap. If you guys are not subbed out to this guy, his name is Clinic, and he has 637 subscribers. I'm going to share this in the chat again. It's not just this video. He's got banger after banger after banger video. Like I said at the beginning, I was already subscribed to this guy going into this video from him talking about a game crash from last month. So when this came through and nobody told me about it, I was like, oh, I'm already subscribed to this guy. And I watched it. I was like, damn, he killed it again. Killed it again. So yeah, check it out. And let's see. View. Let me bring this up. So he currently has 637 subs. Let's refresh. Let's see. Guys, on this stream alone, he went from 637 to 680. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hopefully this gets him over 700 subs or more. He's going to wake up tomorrow and be like, what the hell happened? I love to see it. That's amazing. That is amazing.